How do you do? This is Professor Kevin Wynn. I'm finally logging in, and you get to see me first, and I'm waiting to see you. But happy Fourth! I know you've enjoyed your weekend. Hopefully, you've had a lot of firework action. What's unique is that I am talking to you, staring at my computer screen. Thank God for technology. But I have to sit here and talk to myself pretty much. I'm here at a hotel at a conference. I'm in San Jose right now, and the beauty of technology is that we can record lectures anywhere. And I'll share you more when I get to meet you finally at church. I'm at a conference, a national conference for the Vietnamese Baptist Fellowship. I'll share some pictures when I get back, but I'm speaking this Sunday, and I want to be talking about some items that it's going to help influence the next generation of leadership in the church in the denomination that I work with. But I am here. We're excited. This summer is going to be great. We got 8 weeks together. 8 weeks moves very, very fast. So when I get inside the classroom, just want to encourage all of you who've never taken an 8 week session. It moves so quick. Traditional students who normally do this course in about 15 weeks, they kind of have that second gear where, like halfway through the semester, they start doing homework. Well, I want to encourage you, please start now. Start reading your assignments. There's a lot of reading, a lot of cramming, but let me go ahead and get started on a couple of things, and then I can do more personality stuff when we're in class. So bear with me. I want to do the syllabus stuff, so get your syllabus ready, get your blackboard ready. I'm going to try to help you as we navigate through our introduction time. This is me and my family. Kevin Wynn. Don't call me professor. I prefer Kevin. Look for Kevin. If I'm standing next to someone important, okay, go ahead and give me some titles and credentials. Prof. Kevin. But otherwise, Kevin is just fine. If I'm not wearing a shirt and tie, standing next to someone important, Kevin. Otherwise, hey, let's make it very cordial and very fun to be with. I am married. I'm married to my wife Hannah. We had just finished Holy Week. What is Holy Week? Well, the Holy Week was when we got married. Hannah is from Miami, Florida, and so when we got married, we did the wedding in Miami, Florida, East Coast, on June 26th. So it's pretty fresh, right? So my anniversary is on the 26th. Now, on the day of our wedding, after we said I do, we had a reception dinner, a luncheon dinner or supper or something like that. And my grandfather passed away. I know, it happens. He was full of years, loved the Lord very, very much, and he was just suffering from cancer. And so, he's in definitely a better place. But my father got the phone call right. We were about to serve the meal. He jumps on the next flight from Miami to San Jose, where I am right now. He flies to San Jose that day, and on Wednesday, so Saturday was the wedding. Wednesday, we had flown into San Jose, and that day is June 30th. My wife's birthday is on June 30th. I know, I'm telling you, I got like drama all over the place. So I had a wedding. Hannah's birthday's on the 30th, and I'm at a funeral for my grandfather. So then after that, July 4th, the following Saturday, we had our reception in Los Angeles, where we now reside. So I think literally in a week span, I call it Holy Week, I've had a wedding, 2 weddings, and a funeral, and then throw in a birthday there. All right? So every year around this time, it gets pretty hectic with my family, but I just want to share with you, we love laughter, we love enjoying each other. My son is 3 years old. This was a Halloween trunk or treat, and I don't mind pimping my son around at all. We had a lemonade stand as a trunk, and we just, I just marched him around. Hey, lemonade. So we sold out real fast. So hey, I just love that. Now, I had a nickname in college. Since this is college, I want to share you my nickname, and you're like, what is that? Well, let me go share you what that is. It has to do with my nickname. Anyone want to guess what my nickname is? Go ahead, say it out loud, right in your computer screen. Oh! 1, 2, 3. It's a fat dog. My nickname was Fat Dog. Ask me in class why I'm called Fat Dog. But Fat Dog is my nickname. If you just Google, the beauty of Google is when you just type in Fat Dog, this is what image pops up. This dog does not look like, well, first off, if you kind of look upside down, this dog looks like the Yoki Taco Bell dog that ate too many tacos. Fat Dog. All right, that's my nickname. Got a little piece of me. Now I am a Vietnamese Texan. A Vietnamese Texan. Uh, I am from Texas. I had to lose the accent because people in California just started messing with me. So if I'm in Texas, you'll start hearing y'all. You'll start hearing the southern twang, the slang. Even now and then, when I'll start speaking pretty fast, you'll get that Texan in me. And of course, I'm Vietnamese. So people ask me, "Are you Asian American?" I don't know anything about what Asian American means. All I know is this: I was raised in Texas in a Vietnamese home. I love pho. This is pho right here. Everybody had pho before? Yum yum. And I love barbecue. So pho, barbecue. You already see the teams I root for. I am a Cowboys fan. I'm a Mavericks fan. I'm a Rangers fan. I'm a little depressed that the Mavericks didn't do too well in the off season, but I was so happy when they beat the Lakers. That's right. I'm a Dallas fan, so hate me for being a Dallas fan. I'm proud to be that, and since I love food, I love to share you what I. Let me see if I can get this down a little bit. I don't know why it's popping up. I have a blog. I'm always wondering what's your favorite food, and if I was in class, I'd ask you who makes your favorite food. I'm a big fan of good restaurants. In Riverside, I always ask the question, hey, where's a good barbecue place? And please don't say Lucille's. Don't say any of the stuff that, Tony Roma's. In fact, if it's so good, if you recommend me something good, I will put a spot on my blog spot. Notice it's feedfatdog.blogspot.com. That's my blog. Feel free to check it out. I blog only the coolest stuff. So give me some recommendations. I would love that. Now a little bit about myself. This is a timeline, and maybe I can shrink it a little bit, then you can see it better. It's a timeline of who I am and where I'm from. This is probably best, just like that. All right, we'll start there. All right. Oh, I can shrink this. There you go. Let's do it this way. Yeah. Okay. There are four things I hate to say I compartment my life, but imagine this is time, this arrow right here. There's 1, 2, 3, 4 lines, right? 4 arrows, and they're pictures. This is where I lived, so you can tell a lot of my formative years. I lived in Dallas, Texas. Then eventually I moved to Seattle for a period of time. That's the good old Starbucks, right? Starbucks caffeine drip. And then, of course, you know where this is. This is the magical kingdom, the happiest place on earth. I live in the land of Mickey Land. So I live in Brea, California, very close to Anaheim. This is my education, this timeline. So when I was in Dallas, I went to school out there in high school. My college was I graduated with a Bachelor of Science of Electrical Engineering. Yes, go figure. How did I become a Christian professor? I don't know. Just that's all God. I was math, I was science. I built cell towers. You see this thing right here? This is a cell phone. I was in the cell phone business for a period of time, and you'll see that in my vocation, but I learned how to build cell towers. I was in school when Bluetooth was like brand new. It was the state of the art, so I learned how to do that. Then I moved over later in life. I went to get my Master's of Arts in Education and Leadership at Golden Gate Seminary nearby. That's out here in the Orange County area. The main campus is in San Francisco, Mill Valley. And my doctorates, I'm finishing up my dissertation at Talbot Seminary out here in Biola University. I'm not sure, but are we rivals? Cal Baptist, Biola? I don't know, but I feel like it's rivals because I feel the tension every time I say I'm from Biola. PhD in Education and Leadership. I wanted a straight track. I knew I was going to do leadership. Leadership is what I've always enjoyed. I loved, and at the time I wanted to be able to go back and forth between vocation and ministry and use the degree both ways. That's why I love the OPS program. Programs like you're involved in. Professionals who work and who do other things, that have a life, that have family, and it just, you have the stories and something that your life journeys to help share, and I'm looking forward to it because I'm about to get tired of talking to myself. I'm just staring at this green dot. I know. Third area, I am not a traditional Christian professor. My background is in business management and leadership. After college, I got a chance to go to work with Singular Wireless at the time. The logo here is Jack Splat. I worked in Seattle So Seattle recruited me. They wanted a person that knew sales and marketing, but also understood the technical side. I consulted. I became a manager, high-level manager there in the sales department. And then when I moved to LA, you know the whole transition. Singular, AT&T bought each other out. So the real story is AT&T got bought out by Singular. All right, Singular Pac Bell, same company. The Bell company bought AT&T and then renamed it to be AT&T. Go figure. AT&T, and then after that, then I started working for the North American Mission Board. For the Southern Baptist churches, we have this mission arm called the North American Mission Board. It's also the equivalent to the International Mission Board, which some of you might know as IMB, International Missions. So that has to do a lot with what I'm doing here on teaching missions. My church life, I've had 4 churches I've been a member of. All my life, I don't know the concept of church hopping. I only changed churches because I had to move. If you notice my timeline in Dallas, my father started a church called Richardson Vietnamese Baptist Church. I was the youth minister there. This is the picture of their little church, and it was a humble little church, intimate church, maybe 200-300 people. When I moved to Seattle, I ended up driving down to Olympia, about an hour down south of Seattle, to a Vietnamese Baptist church as well, and I was working with students. So I was raised in a first-generation Vietnamese Baptist church. And then finally, we planted a church out here in Chino Hills, out in LA. That was when I moved here. I didn't want to go to a Vietnamese Baptist church. I ended up going and planting a church with a friend at the time, and we planted a church in Chino Hills. I was the planter and one of the elders here in Los Angeles, and I was there for a good 8 years. Learned a lot. I love planting. So part of my missional aspect is I am missions. I'm the epitome of diversity in Asian American ministries, right? I've been in a first-generation church, so these churches were all plants because there was no Vietnamese church before. So all my life I've been in planting world, and then I planted a church. And so what's the difference between a missionary and a church planter? Well, missionaries is what we call when we go overseas, I suppose. But a church planter is the same thing here in America. We're missionaries. So I was a missionary in Chino Hills. I was a missionary in Richardson, Dallas, Texas. And then along the way, I was bivocational. If you notice this timeline, then it merged. I am now the lead pastor at Saddleback Church in Irvine. Saddleback Church, our senior pastor is Pastor Rick Warren, and I happen to be been privileged to lead the Irvine campus, where it is a truly multi-ethnic campus, and it's one of the largest of the 8 regional campuses. So I've just been humbled by this experience, and I jumped on board last October, 2012. I want to date myself. Everybody wants to, well, not date myself. What is it? How do you find how old I am, right? I'm not going to give you an age. You have to guess it. But I'm more than happy to tell you if you ask me directly. So this is when I started AT&T. This is what we call a StarTAC phone. Anybody seen a StarTAC phone? If you are old enough, you should know that this was in, man. This is before that brick phone. This is $500-$700 of, I don't know what it is, but it is a great phone. And when I started with Singular, that was the phone. Then I moved over here to the Razr became so popular, and then by the time I left AT&T, we had iPhone 2 out. So I was part of the whole phase of the iPhone world, and so all of this right here was my world. So that's when I started, and that's where I ended, and then you can figure out how old and how long I've been in the business. I want to share with you my teaching institutions. I teach both at Biola, graduate program, and seminary, and I also teach at CBU as well in the Christian Ed department. I love leadership. I love Christians. In fact, my life mission statement is to assist those who assist the kingdom. To assist those who assist the kingdom. So after this video, I'm going to stop right here, but I want to share with you that whatever it is, I might not be the best lecturer, the best theologian, but I will tell you this, though, in missions, I lived it, I know it, and I want to help those who want to assist the kingdom. That's all I want to do. I've made too much money for AT&T. I sold a lot of iPhones, but this time in my life, I think God has given me the mission to assist those who assist the kingdom. And so I'm so glad that you're part of this class. Stay tuned for the next video clip.